what happened in the end, it wasn't ever supposed to come to that. I felt like they had the game in the palm of their hands on numerous occasions and just couldn't close it out. But, as for Dak, I'm going to need a little bit more from him down the stretch and as they move forward, into the strength of their schedule.
For me, I agree. But when I look at a game, even if you didn't watch the game, you go look at you pull up the stats. You says, okay, what was time of possession, TOP, and you see the Cowboys only had the ball for like
24.
24, a little over 24 minutes, Skip. I was like, woo, that's not a whole lot.
To 36.
To 36. Okay, now I'm going to look at third down. How efficient are you? Because the more you stay on the field, the better your opportunities are sustaining drives, getting the ball into the end zone. They were 3 of 12. 33%, you're not going to win a whole lot of games unless you have a defense that's stifling, that's taking the ball away, you getting pick sixes, you getting scooping scores. I thought Zeke ran the ball extremely well, averaging 4.4 yards a carry. I thought Zeke, Skip, that might have been a game Zeke should have got about 30 carries.
You could argue.
So yes. I'm like, but I felt that if the Cowboys could have ever gotten the lead in the second half, Skip, I was like, man, they might take this thing over because they're a momentum team. And you see when the momentum swung in their favor, Skip, they move with a certain, you mentioned Mike McCarthy talk about tempo. They started moving with a certain tempo. But they could, as Mike said, they end up kicking field goals.
Yep.
When you play elite-level teams, you kick field goals, you get beat.
You do.
And your guys, I'm not going to, I like defensive, but Skip, the defense is, the question is, can they consistently generate? They need your $21 million man. There's no way.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
He should have got outplayed by a guy that's been out of the league for 5 years, Skip.
Yep.
He got outplayed by a guy that's been out of the league for 5 years, who's making $3-4 million, and this man making $21 million.
Agreed. Okay, back to Michael Vick's first point. I cannot defend my Dallas Cowboys for what they didn't do in the second half because Dak in the first half went 15 of 18 for 187. That'll work. In the second half, Dak went 10 of 21 for a grand total of 79 yards, and they were 1 of 8 on third down in the second half. It will not work. It's same time next year. It's harking back to all those close losses in which they were 1-7 in one-score games a year ago. But despite all the above, I got to get this off my chest one more time. Even though they did not deserve to be in this position, my quarterback made one great throw in this game, and it came with 20 seconds left. And Michael Gallup made one great break on the now top-paid cornerback in all of pro football, Jalen Ramsey, and he had a big, long stride on him. They were hand fighting. It was standard, routine, business as usual, hand fighting up the field. Michael Gallup does not extend, does not shove him off. He didn't need to because he already had him beaten. But Jalen Ramsey effectively flopped. He did a great job of selling it like it was whiplash, like he was in a car wreck, and his neck pops back like, oh, he shoved me. And the ref bought it because he sold it, and the ref heaved a yellow flag across the play. I thought he was throwing it at somebody on the other side of the field. He threw it so hard. And it shouldn't have been called. It cost my team 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line with 17 seconds left. And could they have kicked that field goal to send it to overtime? I think so.
No, you probably go for the win. You know how y'all thinking.
I know you'd go for it a couple times, but listen, at worst case, it's going to overtime. Then you flip the coin and see what happens.
Yes.
So they should have gotten to overtime. They were robbed of a shot at overtime. You know it, and I know it.
Skip.
Michael Vick, help me out here. Was that pass interference or not? Offensive pass interference.
It was a great acting job by Jalen Ramsey.
Thank you.
And they were hip to hip. And it's so tough for a referee now to even make a call offensively or defensively in terms of pass interference. So, you never want to leave it in the hands of the ref. And back to Dak Prescott, that was an amazing throw at a critical point in the game. And I thought Dak played winning football yesterday. It was just something was missing. It was something that just needed to happen where I felt like he could have took control or somebody else could have stepped up big and the game would have never had to come to that point. But it wasn't pretty in terms of what they brought offensively.
It was not.
Hopefully, things will get better.
Okay, let's go back to the other flashpoint moment. It's 11:29 left in the game, 11:29 of the fourth quarter, and the Cowboys drive it down to 3rd and 6 at the Rams' 14-yard line. And I thought they would go throw, but they tried to trick them with a quick hitter to Zeke up the gut. And the Rams weren't fooled, and he managed to get 3 yards, and all of a sudden it's 4th and 3 at the 11-yard line. Again, 11:46, a lot of time is left, but it was clear to me they had called 2 plays, and they wanted to go bang, bang, and try to get the 6 yards with 2 plays. The second play on 4th down came fairly quickly, even though the Rams were able to sub, and it was a shallow cross to CeeDee Lamb, who's really a beast after the catch. The throw, to me, was a little bit late and slightly behind, and he had to slow to reach down to catch it. If you let him a little better, if you give him momentum, I think he could beat the defender to the stakes, to the sticks. But instead, that kid, Jordan Fuller, the rookie out of Ohio State, he was a 6th-round pick, but he was first-team All-Big Ten safety. He breaks like a madman on the ball, like a demon, and just nails CD and gets him low and hard and takes him right down. And that's basically ball game right there.
Yeah. Skip, I mentioned that Dallas was 3 of 12. That's 25%. But on the flip side, they allowed the Rams to go 9 of 17. Skip, you let a team go over 50% on 3rd down, you're probably going to lose that game. You're probably going to lose. You let a team go unless you get they turn, they get scoop and score. You getting scoop and scores and pick sixes. I think the timing of the game, Skip, if Gallup does this in the first quarter, we're not having this discussion. I think the timing of when it happened in the game, it brought more attention to it. Because, Skip, you cannot extend. But the thing is, Skip, he didn't have to.
I wouldn't have called that in the first quarter, and I wouldn't have called that.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it. If a guy jumps outside the first,
sticks.
Go ahead.
No, I'm talking about we're talking about the Gallup play.
Yeah.
Skip, he didn't have to do it. Dak was going to drop it in the bucket.
I thought you were a receiver.
No,
you should defend the receiver.
No, but I have to do all that. I have to do all that. I ain't got to push him out. John, just throw it. I got it.
Oh, you got it? You don't need to push off.
Hold on, first of all, I'm tired of you referring to all these other mundane receivers as me. You do realize I was kind of special.
Michael Gallup is mundane?
Michael Gallup ain't no Shannon Sharp.
Well, he might turn into one.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to be here for another 5-6 years. We're going to have this conversation again. I mean, you got Gallup, and you got Jarwin, you got all them guys. Pretty soon you're going to say Shanes. He might be the next B2, huh?
So, Michael Vick, one last question. Man. The Philadelphia Eagles stunk it up yesterday at the Redskins. They're not the Redskins. They're the Washington football team. I can't get it out of my head. But they stunk it up at Washington. Now Dallas and Philly are 0-1, obviously, in the East. Who do you like at this point from what you've seen to win the East?
Well, I look at the Philadelphia Eagles and, I see problems in a couple of different areas. First and foremost, we got to get healthy. We got to get Alshon Jeffries back. Got to get Miles Sanders back in the lineup. I think the run game was missing tremendously yesterday. And then Carson has to fix his problems. When he has a team down, he has to put his foot on their throat and finish the game. But the Dallas Cowboys, I will say, they look strong. They look good defensively. They look good offensively. And they were playing against a Rams team that's